By popular demand, I'm going ahead and giving you a 2-for-1 special today. That's right, we're hitting the other open mic video. Now, I've watched ahead in this. He eventually does get to the open mic content. I'm actually not that interested in it. What I am interested in, though, is he decides to basically rig in a little whacking atheist in here against Simon Dan, since Dan recently did a small video on Kent. So we're gonna cover that. We're gonna cut off once the open mic happens because it's whatever. It doesn't matter to me that much. But we're gonna focus on this and have some fun.
Folks, Kent Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland in Lenox, Alabama at Genesis Baptist Church. It is October the 4th, 2024. Tonight, open mic, questions and answers, comments
And yes, I apologize. His audio is a bit low. That's just the way it's gonna be.
and comments. We're the old-fashioned, independent, temperamental, fundamental, right-wing, radical, chicken-eating Baptist church that believes the Bible is true and evolution is stupid, real stupid, dumb, didn't happen. Here we are, October 4th. Man, I can't believe it. You can help us stay open for free for 8.5 years now. You join our 777 club. Call my wife Sandra, 855 Big Dino, extension 1. Got any questions about that? drdino.com is our website, and we have all of our channels, 10 channels, I think we're on, aren't we? Is that right, Sergio? About 10 different channels, yeah. You see them?
Yeah, you use multiple platforms because the bullshit you say violates terms of service against, outright lying, medical misinformation, conspiracy theories. Fucking insanity. That should be a clue, Kent, that what you say is a complete fucking crock. But no, you see it as persecution as they're trying to silence the truth. That's why you're still selling apricot seeds, right?
All listed on there. Open 8.47 years now. Now, Mark Twain said, no amount of evidence will ever persuade an idiot.
Hey, Kent. You know how you don't like people using aliases and pseudonyms? Mark Twain was a pseudonym. His name was Sam Clemens, if memory serves. So yeah, you gonna criticize Mark Twain for using an alias, a nickname, a pseudonym? No? Okay, then don't give us shit for when we have one. There's reasons, Kent. The internet's a pretty rough place. People like to do shitty stuff, especially if they happen to be associated with you.
I'm convinced of that. Doesn't matter what you tell them. They're not going
Yep, you look in the mirror every day and realize you are the epitome of that.
to believe it. I had a debate, 2 nights ago with Donnie Badinsky on Standing for Truth channel. And here's some of the comments we got on after that debate. That was debate number 368 for me.
No one cares.
I'm looking for 1,000 more, so come on, you guys.
You want to talk about how many debates you've had, given the number of arguments I've had online, the number of people in real life and online I've had to deal with shit with. I've probably broken several thousand. If you count each little argument as a debate, which I'm sure is what you do for your ones that aren't archived very well. I'm going to count this as a debate, and that's a debate, and I start off at 300. Yeah, Hovind.
Well, got a bunch of keyboard warriors. They're brave behind their keyboard, but they don't want to take on somebody live, okay?
Oh yeah, call everyone the keyboard warrior. It's fucking text comments. That's what they do. You know, Kent, you gotta understand that some people might not be comfortable speaking, making videos. They might feel more comfortable in the written word. And it's funny that I'd pick that phrase, since that's what people would call the Bible. But they might feel better writing out their thoughts. They might not be as articulate. They might not be able to articulate their thoughts very well. They could be differently abled, which is something you certainly wouldn't respect. You know, I am very conscious of my stuttering, of my various stammerings, the way I can't quite articulate myself most of the time, and kind of have to make a phrasing happen that actually works. Like right there, it all gets congested as I try to get the thoughts out. I'm very self-conscious about that. And part of me doing these videos is so that I can work on that and rebuild self-confidence that, I may have a weird way of speaking, but it's not bad. It's just different. But I prefer writing. I prefer blogging. And you want to call people keyboard warriors for that. You're just some jerk ass on the internet your own self, Kent. It doesn't matter. And what's with Joseph? Now, granted, Joseph and I are kind of okay right now. I got no beef with him. But him coming to my comments and responding on your Genesis Baptist Church channel, is that not the same thing? I'm not going to call him a keyboard warrior myself. Far from it. But is it not the exact same action? In fact, isn't it worse action because he's coming into my space as opposed to this where... Actually, I presume these comments are on SFT's channel because you wouldn't have be covering the re-upload. Excuse me. The re-upload on Planet Peterson's channel. But, still, I mean, this is a debate open for public commentary. So, you want to call people keyboard warriors and they're providing commentary, you expect everyone to make a 12-hour response video to all the bullshit you say, you're going to be waiting forever.
Let's see. Professor Peterson professes himself to be wise and became a fool. Thank you, Kent. Kent was answering the question perfectly. Eric just didn't consider them answered because Kent didn't say what he wanted him to say.
No, Kent, I watched that debate. You weren't answering any questions in any capacity, and you got fucking flustered. You got so upset because he tore your script apart. Oh, cry some more, Kent.
Good point. I suggest everyone watch Genesis History Mountains After the Flood. It shows scientific evidence that massive amounts of water were definitely involved in the creation of Grand Canyon.
Look, the word "the" is right there, and he still can only say "of Grand Canyon," not "the Grand Canyon." Don't know why he speaks like that. It's a very archaic way of referring to a lot of things, dropping that participle. I think it's a participle. I don't know. I didn't like English class very much. Okay, I kind of did, but I had trouble with it. It's a long story. Point is, words. They're there. You speak weird, Kent. So meh. Got him. Oh. But seriously, it is weird the way Kent speaks and how he drops stuff, It just bothers me, because it's... I want to say it kind of shows how out of touch he is, because I've really very rarely ever heard anyone else, even of his age range, or adults of the generation that would have raised him, in at least professional recording, speak in such a degree. It's extremely uncommon to hear.
Canyon probably formed in a week, not billions of years. Come take our tour. You guys saw it today. Grand Canyon is a washed out dam.
No, it's not. Meandering like that? No, man. That takes time. Time you don't want to have. Because your magical book says the world's 6,000 years old according to me interpreting these numbers. Because I add numbers and make math, and math good, Hovind.
A really, really, really big one, but it's a washed out dam. Probably took a week, maybe less, okay?
A really big shore. Really big shore we have.
Peterson is so delusional. Great job, Hovind and Eric, that you did not answer the question about the trees. How did they get buried to begin with? To have to be completely buried to petrify. Oh, good point.
It's been explained numerous times where... Because it's talking about the polystrat trees, which aren't what he always professes them to be. It's been explained. This is what kills me with comments from creationists. Also funny, he wanted to call people keyboard warriors, but all he's showing is people supporting him. Are they not keyboard warriors too? Coming in, he didn't answer the question. He's so delusional. Isn't that just some keyboard warrior shit itself? Come on, Kent, double standard here. But I'm talking about the trees. It's well documented, well explained by various sources, and these people think that if they leave a comment on your video or about or in something you're involved in, and you can't magically answer this, that, or the other on demand for them, that's somehow a win for them. And it's like, that's not how this works. You don't come on my channel and ask me some random ass question. Oh, where did Dr. Exploded come from? No, that's not how this works. In the example of Big Bang cosmology, which is just the one I'm bringing up of a comment that I've seen some people say on, someone's video, you could look up the actual science of it, what the scientists actually say, and get understanding from the people who actually study this stuff. Same thing with these, with the whole tree issue. The polystrat trees, which I forget what the proper term for them is. because the polystrate/polystrata trees, however anyone wants to pronounce it, is generally a creationist term. So it's a loaded term, so that if you search it, you wind up getting their information as opposed to proper information by using its proper term. Um, Either way, it's explained very well. The processes that would leave you with this weird tree trunk affair. It's usually a swamp issue. Um, Swamps tend to allow for that kind of preservation, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to point out that that's always how these comments are.
Got to be completely buried to petrify. And then he said some washed away in another landslide or something. Put a dumb answer, I think. Let's see. Oh, here. Kent gives clear evidence that supports the fact that layers could not be millions of years old. Planet Peterson says that's not how you tell how old something is. Kent's not trying to show the exact age of the trees or layers. He's showing that scientifically the tree and the layers and or the layers cannot be of a certain age.
But he didn't. Kent, you just didn't during that. You just waffled on, and Peterson tore every little bit of your script apart.
He missed the point many times. I think so too. It was sad. I thought it was sad. PP, Planet Peterson asks a question. Kent answers the question. PP says, well, that's a non answer.
Yeah, what you gave were non answers. You waffle around. The fact these people can't see that that's obviously not an answer, I'm sorry, it says a ton about their intelligence and their ability to actually process complex thought. Or more correctly, the lack thereof.
Eric, you're very rude.
Yeah, call Eric rude. From the guy who says that people who don't believe the exact same thing he does, that they're PDF files, and that they're animal abusers in a particular sick way. From the guy who is supposed to have bestiality content in his search history. Just saying, Kent has some pretty fucked up rumors about him. Yeah, but Eric's the rude one. He's the jerk, not you, the one who calls everyone stupid, who flat out, without any irony or without any sense of consideration, calls things retarded. The one who is a racist piece of shit, cracking jokes in your stream and then doubling down and defending them. Chinese do have slanted eyes. They are beautiful. Ah. You're one of the most rude people I've seen online. You really are, Kent, and I've seen some absolute assholes. But in the grand scheme, when you contrast it with the way you prop yourself up to be such a good person, you're horrible.
PP has such a condescending, self righteous attitude. I think so.
Yeah, that describes Hovind in a nutshell. I love it. He complains about keyboard warriors, yet all these comments are people defending him.
Too. Let's see. It's remarkable how the Creator understands His creation and the effect of sin. To think that 2,000 years ago it was foretold people would come and deliberately choose to ignore the global flood.
This story of made up bullshit has passages in it that say people won't believe this made up bullshit. What are the odds?
First, 2 Peter chapter 3. Americans evacuate Lebanon. What's going on over there, folks? This is getting all in prophecy. Get my video series, What on Earth is About to Happen, that I wrote.
Time for me to sell my Doomsday DVDs. Gotta buy them. I won't need your money in 6 weeks because the world will be over, but you gotta pay, the $100 anyway because, them copies are expensive and I gotta pay the lawyer bills for the next person who there's a drowning at my kiddie Adventureland.
Made nearly 10 years ago now. Well, the video series about 7 years ago.
I mean, 10 years ago. What, the video series 7 years ago? So are the DVDs 10 years old? Are they 7 years old? Or here's an idea, Kent. How about they're all the same as the age of every other DVD because the atoms are all the same age? Ooh. Doesn't that sound kind of stupid? Because that's the logic you use on the whole layer thing. The crap you say all the time. But what am I? I'm arguing with a damn fool.
I wrote the book on the topic about 10 years ago about what the Bible says about end times. Nothing to panic about. It's going to be fine. God's in control.
Yeah. So this is what always kills me about Christianity and the fact that it is most definitely a death cult. Is it is obsessed with this end times prophecy, these apocalyptic stuff. That's what it focuses on, and the fact that all this weird stuff is just supposed to happen, but it's bad. But the deity that's in charge of everything, he says like, "Oh, God's in control." It's like, okay, then why does this stuff even happen? This is batshit insanity. Like, the story is fundamentally terrible. It is poorly written, pure and simple. And people buy it as actual fact. That's the terrifying thing. If it was at least well written, if it was a Lord of the Rings, then it would at least be something of value as far as a piece of literature that, if taken to be true, is at least functional. It's at least a good story. But no, it's a crap story, worst protagonists ever, doesn't make any sense, self-contradictory constantly, or constantly is self-contradictory, and in the end is just focused on death. It's just focused on failure. It's horrible.
Okay,
0 out of 10. Bible sucks. Don't buy this author's books.
let's see. Israel told civilians to get out of the battle zone, but they love Hezbollah and probably cheered on October 7th. Sad. Coming up the anniversary, 1 year. Some of those people are still hostages. They should go in there with a big bulldozer and just level the whole place, push it into the Mediterranean Sea. Whatever happened to the 40
I'm Kent Hovind, and I want genocide. Hovind, bulldoze him into the sea.
decapitated babies? Yeah, good question. So cute. I mean, we all know what happened to Canaanites and Ezra. If you study the history of the Islamist people, it's fascinating how. We'll do that some other night. Okay.
I want to go on an anti-Arab rant, but I can't do it right now because I'll get my channel shut down. Hovind.
They are still not understand. Instead of condemning Hezbollah, they blame Israel. I can't believe I watch the news like, you guys don't get it. Israel got attacked a year ago, came in, killed 1,200 of their people, decapitated babies, and they're upset that they're retaliating?
Oh man, I'm just not touching this one for obvious reason. I'm just not. I've said it before. The situation is super fucked up. There's a lot of nuance going on here. It isn't just as surface level as what Kent said. And while that is a gross simplification that is valid, the nuance is incredible in all this. And one needs to look at that nuance. Again, something that, especially for some reason, can't, but creationists in general, the religious right, all this, don't understand is nuance. They refuse to get that things can be far more complicated than they first appear.
Mind boggling. They don't get it. America does not need a coward leader whose policy is always ceasefire and appeasement.
But but hang on. I thought everyone on my fucking Twitter feed, my X feed, my whatever feed, were like, can't Trump's against war. I got that like constantly after I think it was Ukrainian President Zelensky talked to Trump after the first assassination attempt, and or it was at some point he talked about he may not have had any relation to that event, but he talked to him about Ukraine and if he was elected. And I'm like, yeah, all he'll do is sell Ukraine out to Russia as soon as he gets the chance. And everyone's like, no, Trump's against war, da 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 da. And it's like, no, but okay. If he is, okay, whatever. I don't believe it when I see it, but then you get comments like this. So which is it? Does the right want war, or are they not for war? Which one is it? Come the fuck on. Pick a side.
America should rest in peace their defunct president. Like, what should we do now with Iran over there? It's simple. The Beach Boys wrote a song about it. Bomb, 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 Iran. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Right? Bomb, Iran.
God, what a fucking uber boomer joke that was. Fun fact though, I misheard that song for literally decades because I don't give a fuck about the Beach Boys. I didn't care to look it up. I heard it as Bob Oran. And of course, it's actually Barbara Ann. But you can't fucking tell with all that, is it doo-wop esque vocals? I don't even know. But that particular vocal style just is too much at once for my ears to process. So I never quite heard it clear until one day I actually learned what was being said. So that was kind of amusing that he brought up that song of all things because I had misheard it myself. But and honestly, that comment from HBO 92 a little disturbing, just a little disturbing. But what do I know? I might be reading too deep into things. Maybe not though. I'm not going to tell you what I think it says. I think everyone reading this can see what they can probably infer what it feels like that might be. But yeah, this is fucking weird. I mean, what does this have to do with the open mic, Kent? That's what kills me. Like I said in the other video, you gotta open everything with all this. It's all too busy.
I ought to do. Okay. Simon Dan,
Yay, Dan.
constantly making videos about me. Let me go over to this one. And
Kent, I don't think Dan's made a video about you in 6 months until this one. I could be wrong, but it's been a while. Talking about people constantly making videos on you. You get Big Bad Mama, you get Claude, you get AJ, you get me, because for some reason we have fun. Like I've said many times, you are a lol cow. What does one do with a lol cow? One milks lulls from them. It's that simple. So you are a source of comedy. Extreme frustration, but also comedy.
see what Simon Dan has to say. Here we go. I debated him once. I don't think he'll do it again. Dan, come on. You're over there in England.
I don't think you debated Dan, buddy. Did that happen? Because I don't think that actually happened. I think he's got it stuck in his head that he did, and he didn't. But, again, I don't know. But I feel like not only would I have watched that, but I would remember it. And also, as Dan's video says, yeah, click the links down in the video description. There's some cool links down there in the description of my video. I mean, they're down there. Just gotta go. Maybe you have to click more and see some links. Check them out. Sign up for stuff if you want to. I don't know. I run some networks and some fun stuff to do. I just run stuff, Hovind. I guarantee none of the links down below will result in you drowning. Guarantee it.
I'll debate you anytime. Call 855 Big Dino extension 0. Sergio, book him.
I'll debate you anytime, but you have to be the one to call me, because I can't be arsed to call you. Yeah, see, stop playing the lazy game, Kent. If you're so damn hell-bent on these debates, have you and your goons go out and actually contact people. Okay? Seriously, the constant, oh, you gotta debate me, is getting old.
Simon Dan, okay? Oh, let's see. Let me start it over here. Where'd my mouse? Oh, there's my mouse, right? No.
Old man fails at tech.
Just click the link in the description and then use my code SIMANDAN to get that 30% off. Right, on with today's video, which, as I said earlier, is on Kent Hovind. But it's not the usual sort of Kent Hovind video. Oh no. Today, we're going to review a recent interview of Kent Hovind where he can just be himself. The interviewer is a lovely lady called Valeria. So without further ado, let's have a look.
Brother Hovind,
Now, I watched Dan's video, so I watched this one. I don't remember anything from it until I saw this frame and was like, oh yeah, I do remember this, but that's it. Also, what the fuck is that sweater you're wearing, Kent?
It's a pleasure for me to be here in Dinosaur Adventureland, and I just enjoy to talk with you today personally.
Well, thank you, mate.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay. In your life, your ministry with everything that you've done put a lot of influence on different people's lives and so on all over the world. Why you choose this specific area of your life? Why you put so much effort to learn and get dipping in the science area to prove others that God created the world?
Well, I didn't really learn anything about science. I just looked at stuff and eventually learned from people the things I can lie about that make science look stupid so that I can, get people's money. Because that's all I care about is money. Because I'm Ken Hovind. Hovind, gotta get the money. First you get the money, then you get the power, then you get the women. The Sandras. Hovind.
And not evolution and everything is that.
Good question. I think it's because he's invested his life into something which he cannot believe is not true. So he's trying.
Dan,
Sunk cost fallacy. Here comes Angry Kent. Yeah.
you have invested your life into making videos about evolution, which you cannot prove to be true. There is no evidence of any animal ever changing to a different kind.
Kent. Dan doesn't sit there all day, every day, just doing nothing but making video content. He has a life outside of this stuff. This is all you do. You have no life. You have no hobbies. You don't really have friends. You don't have a family anymore. Sorry, that's a bit below the belt, but it's fucking true. Your family won't see you. Come on, Kent. This is all you have. Is fucking Dinosaur Adventureland. And it's fucking laughable. Because when you... I'm sorry, this is going to be mean, but dude, when you drop dead, it's just going to fade away. That's going to be pretty hilarious when it happens. I feel so bad for saying that, but it's the honest truth. No one's going to want to take up that mantle. No one's going to care. When you're gone, it's over.
Kind of animal. You've invested your life in it, Dan. You lose a lot of money. If you switched over to be a creationist tonight, you'd lose a lot of subscribers, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah, and probably gain a ton more from all the people who would be like, oh my god, Shyman Dan changed. I'm going to go subscribe to him now. He's with the Lord. Yeah. Gotta love that God-man Dan. All the money's in religion, Kent. And again, notice that it's not a matter of whether it's factual or not, the reality. It's, oh, no, Simon Dan has to be in this strictly for the money. It can't be reality. It can't be this is what he truly feels is correct. In a field that doesn't actually make people much money, unless you are one of the top tier scientists. I mean, it's convoluted. It's kind of worked myself into a bit of a corner there. Because one could say the same about Kent. It's a convoluted thing, though. Because Dan isn't trying to get people to come to his evolution theme park. He isn't doing this 24/7, but you are constantly on this. You're shilling your products. You want donations. You want people to help out. The typical church stuff. You get that tax-exempt status. And given, again, have to bring it up, given your history with finances, it's very clear that you're into things for money. You wear the Hawaiian shirts and you act like you're not in it for money. It's bullshit. You are. And do the Rick and Morty quote, God is a lie, we made him up for money. Let's continue.
You lose a lot of money because you make a bunch of money on this stupid idea of evolution. Don't accuse me, Dan. Go look in the mirror, son.
Yeah, point is, I'm sure his revenues are just astounding. YouTubers like Simon Dan making mega bank. They ain't got to get real jobs, have real interest, hobbies, anything. They just retire off this, just coast. Very few are like that, Kent. Very few.
Trying as hard as he can to make it all stick.
No. I really believe it's obvious the world had a creator. This pencil had a creator, Dan.
This pencil had a creator. Say it with me, everyone. Yes, because we know that pencils are manufactured objects. We do not know that what we would describe otherwise as natural objects are created, and in fact that is contrary to their very definition of natural. Also love the deranged look that Kent has. It's a false analogy through and through. Every time you bring it up, You show how absolutely fucking stupid you think everyone watching you is.
It's obvious to anybody with a 2-year-old mentality. Somebody made this probably for a reason.
Because it's known to be made. Come the fuck on. God, you're an infuriating prick, Kent.
And I think it's really obvious somebody made this world probably for a reason. If you can look at the anatomy of a human being and study just a single cell and believe it happened by chance, you are an idiot, or whatever you call them over there in England, okay? Moron.
The entire process has been immaculately explained numerous times in a vast multitude of media, including little slideshows that might have illustrations simple enough for you to understand, Kent. You just hand wave it away, because it doesn't meet your preconceived bias of Magic Man. God, you're pathetic.
Stupid, dumb.
And that condescending shit. And, oh yeah, again, remember the comments earlier talking about Planet Peterson being rude and Kent talks like this? Yeah, who's the rude one?
Doomcough, okay? Somebody had to design everything we see, the cell. It didn't evolve. You're the one invested in this, Dan. Don't blame me. Don't pass it off on me. Let me a little bit more of this here. Okay.
Don't pass it off on me. I've never once seen a preacher that isn't asking for money, isn't begging for it. I've never seen anyone selling products who doesn't want to make a profit. Who's the one doing shit for money, Kent?
No. Well, I was teaching high school science and math in Texas, and
I call complete bullshit. I'm certain this man only ever taught grade school at best, i.e. up to, at most, preteen level.
Asked a wise pastor friend of mine, I said, how do you know God's will for your life? He said, that's easy. You find a need and you fill it. He said, what's the greatest need that you see? What does the world need?
It needs no more people spreading misinformation on the internet.
Well, good.
Yep, it doesn't. And, Kent, you're about to be like, well, good, then you stop doing stuff. No, Kent. You're the one spreading misinformation. Both demonstrably and subjectively. Both in subjective aspect of your theological bullshittery and objectively with conspiracy theorist bullshit.
Well, then shut your channel down, Dan. You're telling kids that they're related to a banana.
Ooh, he's angry, and Kent, no one's saying banana. It would be a banana plant. And that's the beautiful thing about biology, is that life is just related in such a weird web of just absolute beautiful connections. It's more of a tree that's kind of a bush, but just think about it. It's so magic. And it's real. As opposed to Sky Daddy and World Flood and Miracle Zombie Lich Man and all that shit.
Aren't you? What did he say he was? Simon, Dan, let's see.
I gotta look at my chart.
Professor Dave is related to a strawberry. T. Jump's related to an apple. I don't have Dan on here, do I? Simon Dan is related to a slug and a possum. He told.
What's this obsession he has with fruits and vegetables anyway? Come on, Kent. Is there something we don't know?
Tell me that. Are you related to a slug and a possum? Oh, yeah. You're the one spreading misinformation on the internet, Dan. Shut.
Okay, then, Kent. Prove that it's incorrect. Not assert that it's incorrect and then waffle on for 45 minutes. Prove it's incorrect. Demonstrate, per Aron-Ra's phylogeny challenge, something that would distinctively be a kind, that is not and could not be related to anything else that would be indicative of a special creation. You don't have it because it doesn't exist. Because all life has a common origin. And it ain't being poofed into existence by abracadabra from some sky wizard.
Your channel down and get a life. Okay, quit misleading people into believing that dumb idea of evolution. Just
get a life from the man who has no life. Kent, fuck you. You're fucking pathetic. No one I've seen on the internet has less of a life than you. Christian has more of a life than you do. So fuck off with that shit, telling someone else to have a life. Good God, you're fucking pathetic, Kent. Old man whines at people being better than him. Film at 11.
Stop, okay? Don't blame me. I'm not misleading people.
That is what it needs.
Yeah,
We
shut it
need more
down.
carpenters, need more plumbers, need more garbage men. What do we need? He said, don't tell me, go think about it. I went home, thought about it, prayed about it. I said, this evolution theory is being taught at schools. Millions of kids are being deceived. I have a good science background. Debatable.
Less than debatable, he doesn't. Dan's just being funny there. Nice interjection, Dan. Bravo. 10 points.
But what?
Okay, well then, Dan, you call yourself Simon Dan.
It's debate me, bro. Debate me, bro. That's the only way anything can be arbitrated is debate me, bro. Good God, Kent. No one fucking cares.
For another debate, you coward. You think my science background is debatable?
Ooh, grin and get that smug, shit-eating look on my face. I'm Kent Hovind.
Come on, get a couple helpers on your side. We'll make it 5 against 1. If I get half the time, you go first. Give the best evidence for evolution. Debate Simon Dan. Yeah, right.
Most of the guys that create
God, he's so pissed. It is so easy to get under this man's skin. God, it's so easy.
creation scientists that are speaking are talking over everybody's head. They're too smart. They use all the big words. I said, I think the world needs somebody to take this creation material and dumb it down and make it simple where everybody can say, man.
Well, Ken, it's not very hard to dumb it down considering it's the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my entire life.
I got it. I understood that guy. So you're saying that everyone is dumber than you? So that's
Dan, where on
Got
earth
him.
did you get that? I didn't say any such thing. I said some of the people who are teaching on creation are really good, but they're using too many big words. The average person's not getting it. Okay. See, I can explain trigonometry to a 10-year-old, and they'll get it.
Press X to doubt. Yeah. I'd love to see you try, Kent. I'd love to see you try to explain it to me. Let's just start with, with me and see if I can get it. And then we'll know if we even need to bother with the 10-year-old. Because if I can't get it, the 10-year-old probably isn't going to get it. Of course, I'm sure I could get it from someone who's an actual fucking teacher.
It's a gift of teaching. I like to explain things where everybody says, wow. I told a bunch of kids one day we're going to measure how tall a tree is with a piece of paper, with a pencil. We measured.
And Kent's stream completely fucks up. This ain't me. This is the stream.
Dan, I'm sorry. You are the one that needs to, it applies to you here. Okay.
It's the greatest need I can see. It still is. I haven't changed. I'm glad I did what I did.
Someone must have downloaded the latest Donkey Show for Kent to enjoy after he gets done with this, because, yeah. Let's just say don't look at Ken Hovind's computer search history, allegedly.
That's beautiful. You participate in your life in thousands of debates, like against evolution.
Right.
Were there some of them that you failed? And if yes, why? What was the reason that?
He's failed loads.
Well, you big coward. Show me how dumb I am and how smart you are.
Fight me, bro. God, Kent, you're pathetic. This is how a child behaves, Kent. You're acting like an overgrown fucking child. And I know an overgrown child when I see one. I deal with them all the fucking time. You'd fit right in with some of the ones I've seen.
Dan, open challenge. Everybody call Simon Dan. Everybody make a comment. Ken Hovind challenged you October 4th, 2024, again for about the 80th time. We had one debate, Dan. Bring it on again. Your channel, my channel, Standing for Truth channel. Bring it on. Come on. Your open challenge anytime. I'll debate you every day for a month. Every day for a month.
Yeah, I'm sure you would, because it helps fill your mental masturbation quota.
New topic every night. You pick the topics. Evidence for evolution. What's your evidences? Give me 30 in a row, Dan, every day.
Just give me one that's in my script, because I gotta be able to run my script. Otherwise, I'm completely useless, Hovind.
Come on, bring it on.
Okay. He gallops around all over the place, and when he debated cats, he wasn't really prepared for it. I have done 200.
Yes. Conspiracy Cats, when Kent debated, and Cats, I forget what the question was, but when Conspiracy Cats had asked about something, Kent went, I'm not prepared for that. It was later turned into a small piece of music. Kent Hovind's not prepared for that. I don't think Kent ever got back and was ever prepared for that subject. Could be mistaken.
126
It may have been on ERVs. I feel like it might have been on ERVs, and Kent's later updated his script to address them to some pitiful degree, because that's all Kent can do, is look for whatever apologetic will do best in trying to say, "Nuh-uh, science wrong."
debates at university.
It's 368 now, Dan, and I was very prepared for Cats on most things. When they ask off the wall questions, I said, no, you can't know everything. I bet you don't know everything either, Dan. So you
But you act like you're so smart, Kent. It's funny that you don't have the wherewithal, the skill, the floating, ready-to-go knowledge of tangentially related subjects that you think an expert in evolution such as yourself would know about, that you profess to be an expert, I should say, that you would know about ERVs and be able to address that comment on the fly. But you couldn't, because you know nothing about it. You hadn't looked into it. Because unless it gets brought up to your attention, you don't know anything about it. And only then will you put it in your stupid slides so that you have some magical link to click on to present you with the bit of the script that you need to read to say whatever bullshit you're going to waffle on about for 35 fucking minutes.
won't be prepared for the debate against me, I promise you. Bring it on.
These or online, and I've never, that I know of, everybody who watches them who's interested in truth would say I won, but how do you judge a debate? They always think they win. The atheists do. There have been a couple of questions asked I wasn't ready to answer at the time, but I'm ready now. That debate with Katz obviously playing on his mind.
Yeah. Okay. So you weren't ready then, but you're ready now. Yeah, because you had to, get your script prepped. I'm not saying you're supposed to know everything. You're the one saying, in effect, that you're supposed to know everything by professing to be as smart as you are on the subject. But when something is readily, known as ERVs comes up, then it's a problem. If, again, that is what the subject was, which I believe it was as I think back to it.
I never think about Cats, okay? What's his name? Sergio? Conspiracy Cats. Remember that? I don't think about him. I'll debate him again. Have him call me. Or call Donnie of Standing for Truth. Do it. Dan, you host debate on your channel.
Nah, I think he's moved on to other subjects in general. In fact, he gave the, he gave the Conspiracy Cats channel to MC Toon. So, he does other stuff on other channels now. So, I don't know. I don't think he really gives a shit about you or this whole clique of things anymore. Probably for the better. Less damaging to the psyche.
Yeah, you're going to lose a lot of listeners for that. You'll lose a whole bunch of subscribers, won't you? That'll mean you might have to get a job. Ooh, wow,
okay. Says the man who, doesn't have a real job. Probably barred from working everywhere because of his felony, But I mean, the man who just waddles around and has people, kiss his ass all day. I'm going to take you on the real tour. I'm going to drive you side by side. And I'm going to lie to you kids. And there you go. And make sure your parents give me money. And then I'll sit there and God. If you're going to run a cult, you could at least be someone with some style to you, some charisma, some personality. You're just fucking weird.
But the craziest things, I say, what is your evidence for evolution? First of all, you have to define exactly what do you mean by that word.
There you go. You got to define stuff, but I can't define kind because I'm Hovind. I'm going to bring up the 6 different kinds of evolution, even though none of these are actually evolution, Hovind.
Are dogs and wolves related? Probably. Are dogs and mosquitoes related? No. Well, actually, they are. They are much.
Dan.
Just cut them off before the explanation. I mean, I kind of do it too, but the difference is, I guess I don't do it because Kent doesn't actually explain anything. He just prattles on.
Dogs and mosquitoes are related. I know you go by that dumb chart that they taught you in school. I got it right here somewhere. Public school textbooks are teaching the kids. Here we go. Yep. Kangaroos, elephants, hippopotamus.
Got to bring out his favorite chart.
Oh,
lines on paper.
See, there's mosquito on here. Everything's related. Yep. This is propaganda, Dan. This is not science. This is nothing but propaganda. It's artwork. They drew lines on paper. The Bible says 20 times in the first 7 chapters they will bring forth after their
Don't
kind.
care what the Bible
That's
says.
all any
Also notice that the stream hasn't gotten any better since, or the source, I should say, hasn't gotten any better since he started, or since it messed up earlier. But StreamYards, or whatever they've been using, Restream or whatever that they've been using now, is handling just fine, because that's just what they do now.
anybody's ever seen. It would give me the best example you know of where somebody watched it had that's science, observable, testable, demonstrable, not a bone they found in the dirt. Because if you find a bone in the dirt,
I'm just going to discredit all the actual fucking evidence because I'm Ken Hovind, and I don't understand how science fucking works at all. Hovind?
a fossil, you couldn't prove it had any children.
Gotta run my script. I'm Ken
So show me an example
Hovind.
of something today.
Running my script, saying bullshit.
We get varieties.
Waffling around, wasting everyone's motherfucking time. Cause I'm Ken Hovind.
It doesn't prove they're related to a mosquito.
Fucking waste of time. Fucking waste of life.
Mosquitoes can be
I'm Kent motherfucking Hovind, and I'm still prattling on like a fucking moron. Oh, good, the stream's fucking up. Yeah, come on, fuck up, stream. Fuck up.
More distantly related than dogs and wolves.
See what I mean? I could just ramble on with that stupid song the whole time, and Kent just prattling on for minutes at a time. It's fucking wild. Now again, I get, stuck in stuff. I get into little rants and rambles. Sure. But at least I'm trying to come up with an original thought, trying to address what's actually, being said or what's going on, or otherwise trying to be at all interesting.
But related they are. Even
so dogs and mosquitoes are related. You heard it straight from
play 3 seconds of a video, then I'm just going to keep on talking. And I'll play 3 seconds, and then talk for an hour. Hovind.
It's got to be true. Simon said it. Okay?
though they both belong to vastly different trees of life, they would have shared a common ancestor at some point in the past.
You know what I love is when you look at the extremely detailed chart of life that has... Excuse me, I apologize for always yawning when I do these videos, but something about sitting here and doing this just makes me just have to yawn. What I was going to say is the tree of life that is basically a circle, in that it's so hyper detailed for most of the known genera that the branching just keeps on going, and you slowly can see, you know, all this emergent stuff, and at the outer edge are all the extant species, and deeper down are the extinct species, and you see everything, you know, slowly branch, converge back together if you're working backwards down to Luca. It's so fucking cool, so complex, so well nested. It's beautiful and perfectly demonstrates all of the evidence we have on just what genera can exist that we can define and where they fit in with each other, you know, if only most likely fit in. And this is shit that Kent just hand waves away, lines on paper. And yeah, it's just a chart, but what the chart represents, the information it does, is incredible, because it's far more than just the little children's chart that he shows. So, yeah.
What do you mean we are in our taxidermy room here. There are 33 different varieties of squirrels in the world. They might have had
I've been a welcome ancestor, a squirrel.
A squirrel.
God.
That's as far.
Kent, serious question. Do you ever get tired saying the same shit over and over? Or is something in your brain permanently miswired to where you get an endorphin release when you say the same meandering bullshit day in, day out? Because this is all you do. If I had the time, I could create a supercut of you saying the same phrases in like 30 different cases. Just mix them together. They have the same cadence, the same everything to them. You know, seriously question if you're on the spectrum, Kent. And again, someone will be like, well, you know, you're not a doctor, you can't judge. No, I can still question whether he is and suspect some things based on what we do know about the spectrum, and me likely being on it somewhere myself. I think you are, Kent, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it should be understood. That would explain a lot about you.
Actually, there's around 280 species of squirrel in the world. Can't it be?
Dan, I didn't say species, I said kinds, okay? Varieties, okay? See, that word species has never been clearly defined, Dan.
And neither has kind. Also, species definition varies based on what criteria you're using to actually differentiate the organisms, because the differentiation and demarcation points can be varied. Because once again, the thing you don't get is that this is a nuanced subject.
And there are 26 different definitions of species. Okay. But a 4-year-old can tell you that the different varieties of squirrels are still squirrel. I bet a 3-year-old could do it. Okay. It doesn't prove they're related to hippopotamus or mosquito. How can you guys not get it? I don't understand.
Well, with how much all the facts surrounding this have been brought up to you, Kent, all I can say is, I don't see why you can't get it. Except that you have a financial incentive. Uh-oh. Turning it around on you. Because you do. And also, you're just a lying piece of shit on a whole. Narcissist. So, constantly lying and constantly being the way you are makes complete sense in that context.
Because I know you won't get it even after the debate, but some of your audience will. That'll be good. It'll be worth it. A few more minutes.
No, Kent. I guarantee not a single person watching any of the debates or any interaction with you on an atheist or a scientifically minded or otherwise anti-you channel has been convinced by anything you say. Because everything you say is complete fucking bullshit.
Let's hear it. Go ahead, Dan.
Get that right. Now, you could be talking about tree squirrels only. They're the quintessential squirrel, aren't they? Well, there's around 122 different species of those.
Who's deciding, okay? Are there 339 species of dogs?
Who's deciding how many kinds of squirrels there are? Who's deciding how many kinds of animal there are? Same question to you, Kent. And also, interesting thing, I forget where the discussion was, but on the dog subject is that... Give me a moment. Given the inability to breed, for example, of like a big dog and something little like a Chihuahua, one could actually define them as different species. Even if they're genetically compatible, that would be a physical barrier, and then their isolated populations that can interbreed continue to go, they would diverge even further. So, if one for the fact that we just don't decide to call them that way, one could define every breed of dog as a different species. If only just. It's a pretty interesting thought. Because another thing these guys can't get is that it's all gradations. It's not that a species just has to be where it is when it is. It's a matter of what we decide to call any given specimen at a given point when we realize that it is different from others that may be similar. It's, again, extremely nuanced, but we're basically taking random moments in time as we find them. Not so much random moments, but the moments as we find them of an example of life, and assigning it something to act as just sort of a milestone of, here, we're going to call this, we're going to do this, and this, and we build up the record of species, and hopefully can place them in with other species based on multiple characteristics, all depending on how far back you go, what we actually still have, and what we know about other species that may be related, or otherwise somehow similar. It's pretty cool stuff, but not something you actually care about, Kent.
No, they're varieties of dog. It's called dog, okay?
And they all have a common ancestor, along with marmots, prairie dogs, chipmunks, and groundhogs.
Dan, let me explain.
Kent, let me explain. You want to talk about them being varieties of dog? Well, we could look at varieties of apes. You've got your chimpanzees, you got your bonobos, you got your Homo sapien. It's varieties of ape. Oh, let's look at some varieties of mammals. You got apes, you got cats, you got dogs, you got cattle. Oh, let's look at some varieties of placental mammals of animals. You got your snakes, you got your lizard, you got your fish, you got your, your chordates, your not chordate, it just... Fluffy words, Kent. That's all you got. It's fluffy words. You see how it breaks down? That one can pick another point? And the comparison just still works. I apologize for yawning, but man, this guy drains you.
Carolus Linnaeus made up our classification system in the 1700s.
My
He
God, we all
decided we're going to take
fucking
all living
know.
things and put them into categories. We're going to classify them, kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species.
And now it's far more nuanced than that. Again, the key word here is nuance. Say it with me now, everyone. Nuance.
The animals do not care how we classify them. They don't even know that we're doing it. Okay?
Irrelevant.
They know what to look for in a mate, though.
They obviously don't, given you told a story yourself about the duck trying to mate with the turkey or whatever. It's not how, or was it a turtle? I don't even know. Obviously didn't know what to look for then, did it?
Up on the North 40, did you guys see we have the cows and the sheep and the
Oh, here he
donkeys
goes
all
talking
mixed
about his
together?
North fucking 40 again. No one gives a fuck about the northern 40 acres of your shitty ass gravel pit.
There. The sheep are not the least bit interested in the cows for a partner, nor the donkeys. They're not interested at all.
I have to say the same
Keep in mind,
story over and
the
over.
sheep don't even know what they look like, but they know what to look for in a mate, don't they? You guys just don't get it. God said 20 times in the first 7 chapters, Dan.
No one fucking cares about your shitty ass fucking moronic book of fucking bullshit. It just gets so tiring, especially having grown up in the South and the Bible Belt, hearing people bring up what the Bible says. Don't fucking care. I care about what the facts are. I care about what reality is. And that shit ain't facts. It ain't reality. It's nothing but a bunch of bullshit. Poorly written ass story that for some reason people take seriously.
The animals and plants would bring forth after their kind. That's all they've ever done.
Yep, and the book of fuck you says my middle finger is going up right about now because don't fucking care. Fuck off, Kent.
You have an example that's different than that? I'd like to see it. Call 855 Big Dino, extension 3 to talk to me.
Call 855 Big Dildo to do the exact same thing, except, you get the sound of a squeaky sex toy in the background every 5 seconds because, Kent's a giant fucking dildo. He likes to fuck himself with his mental masturbation. Hovind.
0 to schedule a debate. Tell you what, I don't want to do the whole 12-minute thing of Dan here.
I can't believe I've actually talked to this man, even for just a moment, but I'm still surprised that I actually have communicated with him, and even more so, that I was nice. Now, granted, I'm not going to be mean unless I have to be, or it's one of these videos. But still, I don't know, just something about me.
I'll do him another night. Well, I was going to do it for Whack an Atheist Wednesday, but I had a debate.
I'm gonna do him. Hovind's gonna do him. Hovind's gonna do him because he's Hovind. Alright, that's it. That's as far as I wanted to go. I think after this he gets into the
Let me go back to
call in.
my slides and right here. And let's see. And come over to this one. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, go ahead. Questions you got there, brother?
Okay, yeah, he goes into the actual open mic finally. And that's about the extent of it. I'm done with Kent for now. I've had enough of him. This was kind of fun. Little tired from the work week, so a little more fatigued than usual, especially with this being the second one today. I had a little flub in the middle, but whatever. We're all right. We're good here. Thanks for watching. Check the links down below. Catch y'all next time.